Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today here on this live stream. You may join me live and come in at any point, or you may be watching on the replay. Whatever stage you join, a huge warm welcome. So, I have a question for you. Have you ever been in a new environment or a new situation and you feel like you've had a mindset wobble or that you've lost control on your weight loss journey? If that's you, let's talk about it. Hi guys, thanks for joining me here today on this live stream. You may join me live, in which case feel free to get involved in the conversation, or you may be watching on the replay, in which case feel free to pop some comments and your thoughts in the comments box on this stream. So today is Saturday, the 9th of March. Wow, where is the month going? Where's the year going? We're in week 10 already. We are quarter of the way into 2024. So, guys, have you ever been in a situation? It might have been a situation that you knew was coming up and you either decided to plan for it, or maybe you felt that you could be in control of that situation and you will see how it goes. Have you ever been in that situation? Or it could be that you find yourself in a completely new environment and you might even be prepared, but that environment, because it's new, it's just thrown you. Have you ever been in those situations? If so, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about that today. And I'd love to know if you've ever been in that situation, and if so, how you've managed it. I think it's a really important one because new environments and new situations can help or hinder us on the journey. And if we're going to find ourselves in new situations or in new environments, it's then having the strategies to be able to navigate those and to find ways to stay in control. So, this past week, I found myself in a brand new situation and in a brand new environment too. So, let me just rewind and give you a bit of backstory. So, for the past 4 years since we went into COVID, the first lockdown, I have been happily working away at home. Um, my employed job is working at home. I run all my side businesses, also working from home. And for the most part, I've absolutely loved it. I've loved it. Um, I love my home. Let's be honest. I absolutely love my home. I've created this home for me and my lifestyle. I'm very, very comfortable in my home. So when the opportunity came along to work at home, I was going to jump at it. Jump at it. It's my ideal situation. And over the past 4 years, I have worked from home and have built my life around my home. And on my weight loss journey, my home is set up to support me on my weight loss journey. So it works perfectly for me. However, an opportunity came along and I decided to take up the opportunity, and it meant leaving my home. Now, one of the downsides of working from home for me is that I can become quite isolated. And due to the nature of my work, but also my health, there's been times that I am Yeah, I could be at home for a whole week, a whole 5, 6 days without stepping out of my front door and without seeing anybody or speaking to anyone, and I know that that is not healthy. It's not healthy at all. So, I recognise that that can be a bit of a problem. Oh, right, so I've just got a message. Right, so guys, I've just got a message saying somebody's lost connection. Um, so do let me know if you can hear me, you can see me okay, and let me know if my connection is okay. I don't know if it is my connection or the other person's connection, but do let me know. So, working from home, I've just got comfortable. I've got really comfortable. Yeah, and it may be hi, Nita. Hi, Rose. Great to have you with me today. Thank you so much for joining. So, I've been in this situation where I've been really, really comfortable, and it could be a whole week before I see anyone. And and when I say that, my son will pop in or, my friend will pop in, but like getting out to socialize, to meet people, there've been periods where I've just not seen the outside world. But because I am so comfortable in my home and I've got everything that I need, it's not been an issue for me. And my home, my lifestyle is set up that way to support me with my weight loss journey. So, whilst that has been a positive, I recognize that that is also a negative, and there's danger in that because, I can become so isolated that it becomes hard then to step out of that and to start socializing and to deal with new situations, which was exactly the case this week, which I'm going to tell you a little bit more about in a moment. So, and that's the backstory. I've been working from home for 4 years, loved it, but has been isolated. And my home has been set up to support me and my weight loss journey. However, an opportunity came along. I decided to take the opportunity, and do you know? And I'm being really frank with you. Right up until Monday morning, my anxiety was through the roof, to the point where I was going to cancel this opportunity because the thought of one having to be up, dressed, fully dressed, out to the house, in the car to drive across the city to a new location was just, yeah, that was, yeah, my anxiety. I don't suffer with anxiety um, in terms of like a medical condition, but very anxious, very anxious. All of those questions: how am I going to get there? How am I going to deal with the traffic? What about the parking? Where am I going to park? Do I have to? Because I have a limited. I struggle with me walking and mobility. Will there be, a disabled parking nearby? Will I have to walk far? All of these things were throwing my anxiety. And because I was feeling anxious, I noticed I was eating more. I was eating more in the days leading up to Monday. So, from the Friday, the Saturday, the Sunday, just eating more because of my anxiety. So I recognized that. And I wish it had stopped there, but it didn't. So up until the Saturday morning, hi Horatio, great to have you with me today. So up until the Monday morning, I was so anxious. I couldn't sleep Sunday night. And most of you know, once my head hits that pillow, I'm out for the count. But my anxiety was so high, couldn't sleep. So Monday morning, I woke up and I was like, well, I say I woke up, I got up, didn't get much sleep, and I was ready to cancel the opportunity. One, because of, all of these the anxiety, how am I going to get on, parking, travel, all of that. But also because for so long I've been in such good control of my food and my meals and, managing my journey. This was new territory for me. And I didn't know how I was going to manage it. So I decided, I just thought, you know what, just go along, just register and see how you go. So I did that. I think I got to the venue probably about half an hour, 45 minutes early. I was that worried. Got parking in a side street, um, went in, met the people I needed to meet, and they were absolutely lovely. They were absolutely amazing. And immediately I was like, what was I worried about? Seriously, what was I worried about? They were, oh my goodness, the nicest set of people. So got there, and in all of my anxiety and worry, I hadn't thought about what I was going to eat. Hadn't thought about that. So um, the only thing I took with me was a mug and a cup of soup. That was the only thing I took with me. My anxiety was through the roof. But the one good thing that I discovered, well, it's a positive and a negative. What I discovered was that this venue is in a high street, and it was surrounded by lots and lots of, opportunities for food. So I thought, okay, first day, I can manage that. I can manage that. So um at lunchtime, I thought, okay, I'm gonna venture out and see what is around me, because I realized that the high street can present lots of opportunities, especially at lunchtime or before or after my training, or it can present lots of dangers. So I needed to explore my environment so that I could find the pitfalls and I could find the opportunities, because I didn't want to take anything for granted. So I went out and explored the high street, and there was lots of what I considered danger points. So there was Greg's, there was Weatherspoons, there was the Pound Bakery, there was big baguette shop on the corner. There was all of these things, and I just thought, okay, so I know that if I forget my lunch or if I don't fancy my lunch, I know I'm not going to go hungry. But my danger point is laziness. I know that I can get lazy, and I know that I can think, oh, I won't take a packed lunch today because, there's food shops, there's a couple of pubs in the area, there's a Weatherspoon literally on the corner. I know I'm not going to starve. So I had to explore all of those things so that I can be aware and set myself up for success. Because, and many of you who are watching this know that, I follow the Weight Watchers plan, and we often, talk about how we can set ourselves up for success. And that was exactly it for me. I had to explore the area to find out how I can set myself up for success, but also spot those danger points. So now I'm aware of all of those places that can help me, because I know I'm not going to go hungry, but also venues that I think I know I need to be prepared, because, you know, I can just end up eating out of those places every single day, and eating out of those places once in a while, nothing wrong with them, nothing wrong with them. But I know that for me, I can be a bit lazy and think, "Oh, I don't fancy making my packed lunch," because I'm so used to being at home and making my food as and when I need it. And then the thought of, right, I'm gonna have to make it the night before, store it in the fridge, and then take it with me. Or it could just be that I forget my lunch. So I'm now aware of my environment. I also spotted lots and lots of opportunities as well for me because it's quite a long high street. And there's lots and lots there. There's loads of charity shops, and I love having a browse in a charity shop. There's a B&M, there's a Poundland, there's lots of shops, and I just thought, you know what? This presents a fantastic opportunity for me to go out at lunchtime and have that walk. Even a 10-15 minute walk, I can build that in. When I'm able, when the weather's better, maybe even do the bulk of my lunchtime, maybe like a 45-50 minute walk around the high street. There's little grassed area as well, so I can sit out. So yeah, opportunities are there for me. So, you know, even in the building itself where I am, spotted lots of opportunities. Um, Lots of canteen, well, it's not a canteen, like a a restroom, a break room where they've got lots of fridges to store food. So I thought, brilliant, I can take my meals, pop them in the fridge. They've got microwaves, all of those essential things. Are just sort of fantastic, fantastic. I've got those. Um, so it means I can bring along food, I can warm it up, or I can store it in the fridge and have it cold. So in my mind, I'm already thinking only if I'm going to be having it as a treat will I eat from the high street. But there is no need for me to do that every day. They've got fridges, they've got microwaves, they've got, all the essentials to prepare and enjoy my lunch. They've got good seating, good tables, lots and lots of those things. They've also got, which I absolutely love, they've got a wellness room. Love this. Absolutely love this. So it's an area where they've got really nice sofas with soft cushions. You could put the lights down low. They've got music, and you can just really relax. And I just thought, I love this. A great opportunity for me just to de-stress, gather my thoughts, and relax. So exploring the environment, yeah, Horatio, you say change of environment can be difficult at some time. Yeah, and we know we can struggle. Exactly, exactly, and and therefore the same way that we're often taught at Weight Watchers to set up our environment for success. It was really important for me to explore my new environment for the next couple of weeks and to find out what are the things that are going to help me on my journey and to be aware of those on day one. But also, what are those danger points? What are the dangers? What are the potential dangers? And what are my strategies to help me overcome those dangers? So that was really, really key for me. So knowing that, from the Tuesday, so on the Monday, I just had my cup of soup, and I did go out and I did buy a sandwich from Greg's. And then from the Tuesday, I was like, right, now that I'm aware, I need to put a strategy in place. So my plan now is at least 2 to 3 days a week. I'm going to take that walk, at least a 45-minute walk along the high street, just to get some movement in, get some activity in, which is a benefit because, over the colder winter months, I've not been moving. I've not been out for walks or anything like that. So I thought that's going to be definitely a plus side for me. But also, I went and I stocked up on lots because I've got lots of containers. If you follow me when I'm doing my cooking, you know that I love my IKEA my IKEA containers, but I didn't want anything as big, and I wanted didn't want glass either. So I nipped into B&M and into Poundland and picked up some smaller plastic containers, just specific, big enough to put like my salads in. I bought a few to put things like nuts and seeds in, so I'm not munching on sweets. And a few also to put fruit in. So from the Tuesday, I was just on it. I was on it. So I made a most delicious mixed bean salad with tuna. I've done some egg mayo wraps. I've just done some chicken salads. I've had those as main lunches, and then fruit and nuts and seeds as well. So I've taken those along with me every day with a flask of cold water, because strangely enough, they don't have a water machine, which I find really, really odd. There's no water machine in the building. So I've taken my own water. So yeah, so now I feel much more prepared. Um, but there was still a couple of danger points for me, because I don't know if you've ever been in a situation, as I say, that's new. Um, the environment is new, the situation is new. So, whilst getting to know those danger points and those hot spots were really important, that's about the physical location. The new environment is also up here. And that was a little bit harder. In fact, that was a lot harder. So on the Monday, because of my anxiety and it was all new and everything, exploring the place, fine. Wasn't a problem. Didn't eat very much. And then I started to settle in. And as I was settling in, a few strange things happened. And, I had a conversation with somebody about this week, and we were laughing because it was like, we've both had the same experience, and I'm going to share it with you guys, and do let me know if this resonates with you. So once I'd got my environment sorted and I knew the physical location, I nipped out to the shops to get me a sandwich, but I popped in to the supermarket, into B&M, and in my mind I was like, right, I need to buy food. Need to buy food. So I ended up buying a couple of bags of crisps, like 6 packs of crisps, bought 2 of them. I ended up buying some shortbread biscuits. I ended up buying some sweets. And I put them in my locker, and something really weird started to happen. I started hoarding them. To taking, because not allowed to eat at where we're studying with all the computers and laptops and stuff, but started hoarding them, putting like sweets and a couple of biscuits in my pocket, and then eating them on my way to the station. Sat down, had a cup of tea, started getting in my pocket and sneaking a bite of biscuit, and I thought, Angela, what's going on? What's going on? You've got like 12 bags of crisps in your locker, 2 packs of biscuits. I had some shortbreads and some Oreos, a big a big bag of mints and a bag of chews. And I was like, girl, what is going on? Because when I'm working at home, do you know what? I can't even remember the last time I had a pack of biscuits in my house. I can't even remember that. And now I've got 2 packs of biscuits that I've like it's like contraband. And I do have crisps regularly. I put my hands up, yeah, but not the sweets. I don't have that many sweets. And I had to stop for a minute, and again, I had to go in and talk to myself and say, "Angela, what is going on with you? Why are you going out and buying biscuits and then stuffing them in your pocket and then trying to secretly eat them?" And this happened not just on Monday, not just Tuesday. I went out and bought a pack of ginger nuts and digestive biscuits on Wednesday, took them in. They've got them in my desk, in my locker. And then on Friday, we were doing some intensive training, and I'd taken in my sandwiches. Well, I say sandwiches. It was a sandwich. I took in the sandwich and some fruit. And by 11 o'clock, there it was all gone. Maybe it was a comfort thing. Yeah, maybe it was. It was. And I really had to stop and think, what's going on, Angela? You don't do this. And if you follow me, guys, you know that I don't start eating till 11:30. But by this time in the morning, by 11 o'clock, I think I'd eaten about 5 or 6 digestive biscuits, eaten my sandwich and my fruit, and I wasn't even hungry. And so I really had to stop and think about it because you know me, guys, it's not just the situation was one thing, but getting underneath that situation and finding out what's going on, finding out what's the problem, what is causing it, because the eating and the hoarding of the biscuits, the secret eating of the biscuits, and stockpiling all of that food, that's a symptom. That's a symptom. And I had to get underneath it to find out what the problem is. It's kind of like that situation where, you've got a headache and you might take the tablets to settle the headache, but you have to get underneath and find out why you've got the headache. It might be that, you're dehydrated, or, you've not, you're hungry, or, you've been staring at a computer screen for hours on end, or it could be that you need glasses. It's about getting underneath and finding out what the problem is. So I had to do that. I had to stop and think, okay, what is going on here? What is going on? I wasn't hungry. It was a new environment. But after a couple of days, I mean, honestly, you couldn't have asked for nicer people. They were just, everyone was so friendly and super, super, super helpful. They were amazing. So it wasn't that I didn't feel, you know, unwelcomed. I didn't feel isolated or lonely. It wasn't that. I just think it was about, you know, just a new situation. And it's really interesting because I was talking to somebody on Wednesday night, and they said exactly the same. They said that um, they don't have a problem with breakfast. But when they're in a new environment, if their work means that they're traveling, and if they go to a new hotel and they go down and they're just like eating things that they would never ever normally choose, you know? she said, for example, she could have sausages and bacon at home if she wants to, but she chooses not to. But the minute she goes to a hotel, it's like, let me get as much as I can in. And I was like, yeah. And the thing is, like me, she said she doesn't even want it. She doesn't even enjoy it. But it's almost like it's there. And, and we were laughing because I was telling her about my biscuit situation, that I'm exactly the same. And it's really getting underneath this as to why I feel the need to secret eat, to hoard food, and to overeat. Because that was the bottom line of it. I was overeating in a new situation and a new environment. And it, I think part of it stems from childhood, as these things always are. Growing up, and you know what? And I even found myself saying this to my son. I'd say, if we were going somewhere, I'd say, eat now because you might be hungry later. And my son would be like, Mum, that doesn't even make sense. If I'm hungry later, then I'll eat later. But there was that mentality of let's get it in now because I don't know when I'm going to eat again. And it was very much like that as a child, you know, eat now. And, I said the other day on the live, we used to go on there. My parents used to take us like on coach trips and stuff. And it was kind of like we used to have our breakfast. So we were well fed. And then we used to, like the night before, cook up like the chicken and the chicken wings and the chicken legs and stuff like that, pack them. So, and then as soon as we got on the coach, 5 minutes later, out comes the chicken, biting on this chicken. And we're not even hungry. Not hungry because we'd eaten before we left home, like, 40 minutes ago. But as soon as we get on that coach, something clicks in that says we need to eat now. And we used to take enough food to fill the whole coach, you know? And it was something, there was that mindset of we're going somewhere new. We don't know what it's going to be like when we get there. I don't know if there's going to be food. So let's eat as much as we can now because we might be hungry later. And that's a mindset. It's very much a mindset. And I used to say that to my son, used to say that to him, you know, eat up now because, you might be hungry when when you get there. And you just think, it sounds ridiculous. It sounds absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I think, yeah, indeed. I'm not unusual. I'm not unusual. I think that a lot of people have had that situation and have grown up in that situation. And I think that comes from a time years ago, certainly in my parents' generation and my grandparents' generation, where there was a lack of food and they didn't know where the next meal was coming from. And funnily enough, you know me, guys, podcast queen here, podcast queen. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and she said exactly the same thing. She said she grew up in America with her mother and her brother. And her mother, whenever they had access to food, her mother used to say, eat as much as you can because I don't know when the next meal is going to come. So that became a habit of overeating. She developed that habit of overeating and overeating at every meal, even when she knew when the next meal was or what the next meal was. That mindset had kicked in. Food, overeat. And whilst I'm breaking that habit of overeating, that mindset of I'm in a new situation. And it's ridiculous because I'd already explored my surroundings and I knew that there was so much opportunities for food. As I said, I'm not going to go hungry. There was facilities to store food in, to warm food up in, for me to sit and eat my food. No lack of that. but it was the mindset. The mindset was still very much in my childhood and carrying over that generational thinking from my parents and my great grandparents of eat now because you don't know when you're going to get fed again. And even though it was related to crisps and biscuits and sweets, that mindset had kicked in. And then the other thing that really kind of I really had to stop and think about it was on yesterday, on Friday. um th- I entered a key stage of my training, and I can tell you that it was not the most exciting training in the world. I kept falling asleep. I was fidgeting. The office was really, really warm. Um, I had to wear these headphones so I could listen in to the training. Um, that I felt really boxed off and enclosed. I was really hot, really warm, and it wasn't the most exciting training at all. Um, and yesterday, oh my goodness, I was like a gannet. I was like a gannet. It was like seafood, gotta eat it. So now I've got my desk, and in my desk I've got a sandwich. I've got a little Tupperware box of fresh fruits. I've got 2 bags of crisps. I've got a pack of digestive biscuits. What else did I have? Oh, I had the Oreos. I had a pack of cup of soup, a pack of 4, and I had my tea and my coffee. I had all of that food in my drawer. And, let's see, Anita, sorry, Nita, it could also be some form of release in that you have survived the ordeal of change. Indeed, indeed. But I also think it's that curve, that change curve, and that adjustment. And as Horatio says, it's a new environment, so it will take some time to adjust and find your feet. Indeed, indeed. But it was just interesting that I caught myself doing that. And it was at the time where, particularly yesterday, I think my overeating the previous days was exactly that, that new environment, that adjustment, that change curve, settling down, being amongst new people, being amongst new environment, a new lifestyle, having to be up and out and in a venue for like 8:30 to get me parking space. Um, I think the first couple of days it was all of that as to why I was overeating, and me just adjusting and realizing actually I'm not going to go hungry. I'm not going to starve. No chance of that happening. But I think yesterday, Friday, when I actually started this new journey, and it was a cohort as well. There was like 25 of us all um in a Teams meeting room with 2 trainers with my headphones on. We've got a little desk area because people are all over the country, people were from, and all on night here, and it was from 9:30 to 4:30. And I kept falling asleep because it was hot. But secondly, it was not very exciting. It was quite boring. And I realized that I was boredom eating. And I think certainly from about 10 o'clock till 12 till 1 o'clock when we broke for lunch. I think I had about 6 digestive biscuits, and I can't even remember the last time I've had a digestive biscuit. My mother used to that was her biscuit. She lived on digestive biscuits. It was a standing joke in our family, my mum and the digestive biscuits. And I just found that it was interesting that I'd chosen digestive biscuits and had eaten so many in the morning. Yeah, definite I think that change was affecting me more than I even realized. And yeah, the fact that it was my mother's favourite biscuit, I think there's something there as well. Maybe, as you say, Nita, maybe wanting that comfort. Maybe needing that comfort. And my mum's not here. We lost my mum a few years ago. So maybe there is something there about being in this new situation, regressing a little bit, the anxiety's coming in, you know, um, wanting and needing my mum. And the nearest thing I could turn to was those digestives, that representation of her. It's so interesting, so interesting. So yeah, sat and ate those biscuits, um, polished off my sandwich and my fruit, had, oh my goodness, probably about 4 or 5 sweets, mints, and I kept thinking, "I don't eat too much because it's gonna all spike my blood sugar levels and I'm gonna be done for." Well, that was exactly the case because I just kept I mean, the good thing, we did have cameras off and, audio off, so I I just kept falling asleep. But do you know what? It was really interesting. It was boring, I was tired, I lacked focus, and I think that, along with wanting to have that comfort, being in that new environment, led me to overeat. So, yeah, Horatio used to have those days often. Yeah, yeah, and Nita, yes, the change curve, and it'll norm out. Yeah, and 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 do you know what? I'm really glad that I went through that experience in my first week because I was able to think it through, because I think that's where the learning and the growth comes. Because if now next week I go back and I repeat that, and I take in another pack of biscuits or cakes or more sweets or more crisps, if I do that and sit and eat them, I haven't learnt anything from it. And if I then think, okay, I'm not going to take my lunch, I'm going to go out and eat off the high street. Again, nothing wrong with that, but I haven't learned from it. And I'm not saying I'm never going to take a biscuit or crisps or anything. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this situation has occurred and I have to learn from what has caused it so that I could put those strategies in place so that I could move forward and make better choices. Yeah, indeed, Nita, reflection is indeed a wonderful thing. It really is. And I think that's where the growth comes. So, what I then did on Friday, um, during this really dull and super boring training session, I thought, right, I've already eaten my sandwich and my fruits by like 11 o'clock. I'm tanked out with biscuits and sweets. I don't need to eat anything else. I don't need it. So put my coat on at lunchtime and went for a walk. The walk that I identified was going to be one of my opportunities on the Monday. Remember on Monday I said that I explored the area to find those danger spots, but also those opportunity spots. And I thought, right, strategy. I can go for a long walk along the high street. That's what I did. I could have sat in the rest area. I could have sat and had a cup of soup. I could have sat and had more biscuits and a cup of tea. I had no more food because, like sandwich, I'd eaten that. But I did have me cup of soup and more biscuit. I could have done that. But for me, no, strategy, go out for a walk. So I went for a really nice walk. And whilst I was out walking, I thought, okay, I need to strategize a little bit further. So I nipped into Poundland and I bought some more plastic Tupperware boxes. And I thought, right, I'm going to use these to have even more fruit, more nuts and seeds, and a bigger salad. So, because as I say, I've got lots at home, all my IKEA ones, but I didn't want to take those. Those are too big and they're glass, but these are now just the perfect size. So, got them home. I'm looking at them, got all my stack of plastic containers. Today, I'm gonna be doing a list of like meal ideas, mainly lunch. Um, and that's the other thing, I have to now re-look at my meals because I realized, well, if you know me, my first meal of the day is 11:30, 12 o'clock. But because I'm up so early and I'm actually expending energy, I'm moving, I'm out, I'm driving, I'm moving up and down and walking. The past couple of days, I just thought, no, I need to eat. I need to eat. So my first meal of the day being 11:30 isn't going to work for me. So I'm having to now start that early and can't eat in the environment, can't eat in the training room. So I thought, well, I'm going to have to eat before I leave home. So yeah, so that's going to be an 8 o'clock one. So that's going to be interesting. But I still plan to finish my last meal of the day by 6 o'clock. It's probably more going to be 7 o'clock now because I have to get my sleep in, have to get my sleep. So 7 o'clock will be my absolute, yeah, but just extending my eating patterns now to include that first meal of breakfast. So I'm just having to gonna jiggle that a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see what I do because if I don't eat breakfast before I go in, chances are I'm gonna overeat. I'm gonna overeat because one of the boredom, especially on this training, hopefully the training sessions will get much. Everybody says that it gets better from like the Monday or this week. So yeah, it'll be better. But again, I've got all those danger foods in my drawer, so I'm going to have to ship them out. I'm going to have to get them out. I'll probably put them in the locker, which is well away from my desk. So I can have one as and when I want, but the fact that it's in my desk just means that it's just stretching my hand down, opening the drawer, and straight into my gob. So yeah. So do you know what? I just think that when we're in new environments and new situations, it can really catch us off guard, but it can also keep us stuck and allow us to create new habits that may or may not be helpful. So I think this week has been really valuable learning for me to look at my environment, which I did, exploring those hot spots, the danger spots, but also an opportunity to strategize and then to put the strategy in place on the Friday when I needed it most, but also to take that time and really reflect on what was going on with me. So this week, because I've got this intensive training for the next 5 weeks. And if I'm going to be eating the way I did last week and on Friday, I'll put a stone back on, which is not going to happen. So, my strategy this week now is to look at things that I can take in so that I can just nip off to the wellness room, have a 5-minute break and maybe nibble on some nuts or some seeds, or, nip off to the restroom and not, well, like the as dining area, and maybe just have a quick salad or something like that. So, yeah, and then have again making sure I build that protein in um, at each time I eat so that it keeps me fuller for longer. But what I don't want to do is to build new habits of grazing throughout the day, especially when I'm bored. Yeah. So it's been a really, really, really interesting week. Very, very interesting. But yeah, I've learned from it. Now I need to grow from it. I need to grow. So what do you do, guys? Have you ever been in a situation like that where it was new or a new environment? And did it affect your habits? Did it affect your mindset? Did you have a mindset wobble? Did you do things differently? Um, and if so, what did you do? How did you deal with that? Because sometimes, when we're in those new environments and new situations, it creates that habit. And the new environment or the new situation becomes the cue. And that's why when this lady said the other day that it happens every time she's in a hotel, she stays overnight in a hotel, she has the breakfast. It's always like the bacon, the eggs, and the sausages. Nothing wrong in that. Nothing wrong in that. But she just notices that's the pattern. And the cue is the hotel breakfast. Because she can have it at home, she just chooses not to. But she does when she's in this environment, because environments can trigger it, you know? It's, for example, smokers, people who stop smoking. I had a friend and she'd given up smoking, but the minute she was in a pub, out would come the cigarettes. She was like, I need to have a cigarette. It was the environment that triggered that habit. It's kind of like, we could be floating along and we're doing well. And as soon as we see an advert, we've got to have that, the crisps or the chocolate or the sweets or the ice cream, whatever it is. It cues the behavior. Yeah. So, it's then thinking, well, what are my cues in any given situation or in any environment? And what can I do to manage that, to minimize that, to put a strategy in place so that it doesn't catch me unaware? And if it does, how can I manage this? Because for me, the danger is, and I know me because I know me and I've done it before, is that because I know that there's a Greg's there, there's a Weatherspoons, there's a Pound bakery, there's the pubs, there's easy access to food. I can easily think, "Do you know what? I won't make that healthy lunch. I'll just nip into Greg's and I'll tell myself I'll get a salad or get a sandwich or something like that." And it never stops at that. Never. Because when I was in the Greg's on the first day and I went and bought the sandwich, let me tell you, I was eyeing up those Belgian buns. I was eyeing up the donuts. I was eyeing up those sweets. And just had to say, be really firm to myself in my mind and say, no, no, just have your sandwich. And even as I was walking out, I was like, oh, like that regret, the fear, FOMO, that fear of missing out. I wanted one. I really wanted one. And I thought, no, Angela, don't do it to yourself. Just go back, eat your sandwich, enjoy it, be done with it. And I did. So, yeah, we have to catch ourselves. We have to really catch ourselves in those moments. But yeah, it's having the opportunity to reflect, to really stop and reflect. and then put those strategies in place, because then if uncaught, that's when it becomes that habit, a habit that can really scupper us on the journey. Anita, you say, yeah, you're craving cake, which was your mum's answer to everything. Isn't that interesting? Interesting that, we can take on those habits and behaviors from our parents, our family members, people around us. We really can. So, yeah, you're craving the cake. And went and bought digestive biscuits. I can't even remember the last time I had a digestive biscuit. I just never buy them. Never. In fact, very, very, very rarely do I buy biscuits. I did tell a lie. I bought a pack of biscuits today, but I gave them to my son because he's been unwell. So I saw some Biscoff, like Biscoff biscuits in Tesco's, and I thought, I'm going over to see the kids and my grandkids. I bought sweets for them, so I thought I'll take him some biscuits. So that's what I did. So other than that, I never buy biscuits for myself. I just had one out of the pack after he'd opened it. But yeah, and not only did I buy the digestives, some of my mum's favourites. Yeah. I tell you, there's a lot of psychology going on there, a lot. So Horatio, you say the only way you was able to control your eating when you was at work was to prep your food for the day and take it with you to work. Otherwise, for you, it was difficult to control. And on special occasions, somebody would buy those Krispy Kremes. They are dangerous but delicious. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got a story about Krispy Kremes that I'll tell you in a moment. But yeah, when I was working in an office many years ago, I used to do that. I used to prep my food. I used to take it with me, but then many a times didn't fancy it, didn't want it, especially if there was, like a Greg's or the sandwich man. That was it. We used to have the sandwich man come round in his little van, and there was something very appealing about getting something hot. Like, he used to do these giant hot samosas. Getting one of those was so much more appealing than my cold salad or my cold sandwich. Yeah. So yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Taking it, prepping it, and taking it. Yeah. Or sometimes I used to just get really lazy and think, oh, I'll just nip up to Morrison's, or I'll nip to the supermarket and get something. Yeah. So I need to get in that habit of taking stuff with me for the next couple of weeks. So the Krispy Kremes, oh my days, I love a Krispy Kreme. So the first time I ever had Krispy Kremes was when I went to see my sister in America a few years ago, and she bought us all Krispy Kremes, and it was just the ring donuts one, the ring ones. Um, love those, absolutely love those. And then this one day, this is before I started my journey in 2019. I was on one of those, I'm a gannet and I'm gonna eat everything in sight. And I'd gone to Tesco's and I'd bought a box of 12 Krispy Kremes, and I bought them for a reason. I bought them for a reason, but for whatever reason, I can't remember now. But who- I think I was having some friends over, and they all cancelled off on me, and the event got cancelled. And do you know, I sat and ate that whole box of 12 Krispy Kremes over about 3 days. I know. And it wasn't just the ring donuts. It was, you get like the strawberry ones, you get the chocolate ones, you get like the jam donut kind of thing, the big ones. I ate a whole box, 12 of them. I know. Just the thought of it now makes me feel sick. Makes me feel sick. So I do love a Krispy Kreme, but because of that experience, I don't go near them. If I do, it'll just be a ring one. But even then, I can't remember the last time I had one. But yeah, I ate a whole box, 12. Yeah, I know, disgusting, disgusting. Oh, I tell you, I feel sick just thinking about it. But yeah, I did. But in moderation, they are very, very, very nice. Very nice. So yes, so there you go, guys. New environments can help us or they can hinder us. New situations can also help or hinder us. And I think it's just being aware of that environment and having strategies in place to do that, to manage that situation. So yeah. But other than that, my first week on my training was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely love the environment. The people were just amazing. Really looking forward to this coming week and the training that's in store and the future. So yeah, all really, really, really exciting. So it's I'm trying to now find a way or trying to look at my schedule to do my daily lives because guys we're just over 300 hours left to hit our first milestone. So thank you so much for your support has been amazing. I really, really appreciate all the support that you provide me here on this channel. Yeah, we have just got just over 300 hours to hit. So it's my intention that we will hit that by the end of March. Um, and yeah, it's super exciting. Things are on the cards. Really, really, really excited for that. Um, so yeah, so with my change of schedule, you'll have noticed that I've not done many lives last week. That's because I'm just trying to figure out my new pattern. I was intending to do some in my break, but that's not worked out because I say my strategy is to either eat well or to go for that walk. So I'm thinking about either first thing in the morning or on the evening. But definitely I'll be doing some at weekends. My other strategy is to upload live videos. So like this afternoon, I've got a couple of videos that I'm going to record. So I'm going to be able to upload those. So there's going to be both a mix of live and videos as well. Um, and when I do my lives, they will be shorter because I won't have an hour to sit and do a live. It will be shorter. But I may be able to do two shorter ones throughout the day. And in the absence of me not doing a live, you will have noticed last week that I have repurposed previous lives and have uploaded those. And those also count to my watch hours as well. So um, you will see those previous lives being uploaded and repurposed as videos. That's just to keep the momentum going, to keep the consistency going, and to show my commitment to this channel. So guys, that is it for me. Thank you, Nita. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you. I do appreciate that. So guys, what are you up to today? What are you up to? I hope whatever you've got planned for the rest of the day and the evening is good. Oh, you noticed that Horatio? Fantastic. Yeah, you watched one this morning. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Yeah, because the live videos, these when I go live, that counts towards the watch time. But also when I repurpose videos, sorry, repurpose lives or repurpose videos, they also count to the watch time as well. So it's just to finding ways to keep that going. So yeah, yeah, we're getting there. We are getting there. Um, so guys, whatever you're doing this afternoon, have a wonderful, wonderful time. I've got two boxes. Oh, it's probably a little bit late now, but I've got think 5 bags of clothes to take to the charity shop. In fact, there's a Salvation Army bin in my Tesco's car park. I might drop some off there. So I'm having a big clear out of my clothes because I've got no clothes. and I've got no clothes. So all my work clothes that I used to use before lockdown, they're all too big for me because, I've lost so much weight. Um, so I'm just clearing them out. So I'm literally down to 2 pairs of trousers and 3 tops. I know. That's the only thing that can fit me, and even those are baggy, which is a nice feeling. I'm not complaining, it's a nice feeling. So I'm just having to root through, sorting things out, trying to find things that is still passable, and then I need to get me a new wardrobe. So yeah, so I'm finishing that off this afternoon. And Nita, you're going to be cooking. Lovely, lovely, very nice. So guys, listen, thank you so much for being here with me today. And thank you so much as always for your incredible support. Whatever point you're watching it, whether you with me live, and Nita Horatio, a few of you are with me live, thank you so much for your support, or whether you uh are watching this on the replay, I do appreciate it. So the way that you can support me and this channel, guys, is hit that like button, and that just shows the algorithm that you're interacting with it. If you can, when this video is posted as well, if you could leave a comment in the comment section as well, that also helps. Even just a hi Angela, or I'm subscribed, something like that, it just makes that little bit of difference. If you could share it as well, that would also make a difference. But the biggest way you can help me is to watch another video or another live. That would really make a big difference. Just let it run in the background, it all adds up. So guys, thank you so much for being with me. I will be back tomorrow, and in the meantime, have a lovely, lovely weekend, and I will see you very soon. Take care now. Bye.